Hello, good morning children. Today we have got the discussion of 2020 GMAINS September 6th Shift 1 Physics paper. Let us begin. First one, a satellite is in elliptical orbit around planet. It is observed that velocity of satellite when it is the farthest from the planet is 6 times less than when it is closest. This is the farthest point, the planet P, satellite S. Farthest, let the velocity be v1, the distance be r1. Closest point, velocity be v2, distance be r2. We know from conservation of angular momentum, because the force involved is central force, angular momentum is conserved. Angular momentum L is equal to mvr, and L is a constant. Mass of the satellite is a constant, that is Vr is a constant. So, V proportional 1 by r, or r proportional 1 by v. So, the distance offers inverse ratio of their speeds. Speed ratio 6 is to 1, then the distance ratio is 1 is to 6, then the correct answer is 1. Next one, for a given input voltage waveform V inputs, output voltage waveform VDT across the capacitor is correctly depicted by. We know it is an RC transient case. The time constant of this RC circuit is R into C is equal to the time constant is equal to R into C, that is 10 into 10 power minus 9 into 10 power 3, that is equal to 10 power minus 6 seconds, that is equal to 1 microseconds. That means in within 1 microsecond the capacitor is getting charged to 63% of its maximum charge. Okay, the pulse is between 0 and 5 microsecond, keeps voltage 5 volt, and the time constant is less than that. So, it gets charged, and within 5 microsecond it reaches to the maximum charge where it could charge within that time, and the formula for the voltage at any instant can be written as V0 into 1 minus e raised to minus t by tau. On calculating that voltage, we can find close to 2 volt. So, within that time the voltage becomes 2 volt. Now, at that instant the input falls to 0 suddenly, as there is no input. So, it starts to discharge, then the rate decreases. Okay, but in another 5 microseconds again the pulse happens there in the input. So, again it charges, but within the middle 5 microsecond it is not getting fully discharged. That is why that intercept will not be 0. That is why this will not be the answer. And in the next 5 microsecond it charges further. So, the charge increases as it was possessing before. That is why it also cannot be the answer. Now, the chance is the first one or fourth one. The fourth one cannot be, because the voltage is steadily decreasing. The changes are all exponential. So, the correct answer the first option. Next one, charges Q1 and Q2 are at points A and B, right angle triangle OAB. Resultant electric field at point O is perpendicular to the hypotenuse. It is given the resultant electric field at O is perpendicular to the hypotenuse. That means this will be happening there, and this angle is 90 degree. Okay. Now, on resolving this electric field in two mutually perpendicular directions, we may write this as the electric field due to the charge Q1 E1, this as the electric field due to the charge Q2, which is E2. Let this angle be theta, then this angle also will be theta, angle between perpendiculars will be same. So that here we get tan theta as E2 by E1. that is E2 divided by E1 is tan theta. That is equal to opposite by adjacent from right angle triangle, that is x1 by x2. But we know intensity proportional to 1 by r square, inverse square law. Electric field offers inverse square law for a point charge. So E2 by E1 will be E2 divided by E1 will be E proportional to Q by R square. So E2 by E1 will be written as Q2 divided by Q1 into R1 divided by R2 whole square. R1 by R2 whole square can be written as X1 by X2 whole square. Okay, one X1 and X2 gets cancelled. From that we may write that Q2 divided by Q1 into X1 divided by X2 is equal to 1. That is Q2 by Q1 is equal to X2 by X1 and Q1 by Q2 is equal to Q1 by Q2 is equal to X1 divided by X2. So the correct answer is the third option. Third one, the correct answer is the third option. Now fourth one. Screw gauge has 50 divisions on its circular scale. The circular scale is 4 units ahead of the pitch scale marking prior to use. That means the error is positive. So positive zero error as the zero of the circular scale is lying below the baseline. When zero of circular scale lines below baseline, that is positive zero error. So here mentioned is a positive zero error. Now the least count is equal to pitch divided by number of divisions on the circular scale. Pitch is given as 0.5 millimeter divided by 50 and that is 10 micrometer. So the correct answer is the second option. Now next one, an object of mass m suspended at end of massless wire, length L, area A, Young's modulus is Y, mass is pulled down slightly, its frequency of oscillation along the vertical direction is. We know the formula for time period of an elastic oscillation, simple harmonically, 2 pi root m by k, hence frequency as 1 by 2 pi root of k by m. Okay, here k stands for the force constant. For force constant can be written as Ya divided by L from the formula for Young's modulus, Fl divided by A delta L, where F by delta L is nothing but the force constant, so that we may write k is equal to Ya by L. So substituting here, frequency equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of Ya divided by Lm. So 1 by 2 pi root of Ya divided by Lm. So the correct answer is the first option. Next one, a particle of charge q, mass m, moving with velocity minus v I cap towards a large screen placed in yz plane at distance d. There is a magnetic field B0 k cap. Minimum value of the velocity, minimum value of the velocity for which the particle not hit the screen. There is a large screen placed there, very large screen. A large screen is placed there like this and the particle is approaching like this. The particle is not hitting, For not hitting, the radius of the particle and the distance of the particle, the limiting condition, they are equal. In the limiting condition, they are equal. Okay, the radius of the curved path of the particle in the magnetic field should be less than or at least equal to the distance d. So here d may be referred to as r. We know the formula for radius of a charge in magnetic field, mv divided by qb. That is, this r can be rewritten as d here, so that v is equal to qbd divided by m. So the correct answer is box. Sixth one, box. Now seventh one, an insect is at the bottom of a hemisphere ditch of radius 1 meter, crawls up the ditch but starts slipping after its height is such from the bottom. coefficient of friction is 0.75, then the height h is. This is the hemispherical bowl and this is the vertical. Let the insect be here at an instant, it crawls up. When it tries to crawls up, it exerts downward. So, the static friction, when it goes very gently, so nearly its motion, its velocity, relative velocity can be neglected, so that there is an impending motion of the insect is downward, the tendency to slip is downward, so the static friction is acting upward. Okay, the other force is the gravitational force mg, other one is the normal contact force. Okay, resolving that mg into two rectangular components, this will be mg cos theta and this one is mg sin theta. Okay, now the normal force N is equal to mg cos theta, balances in equilibrium. Now the frictional force F is equal to mg sin theta. But we know the frictional force, the limiting frictional force is there where the angle theta is maximum, where that limiting friction is equal to mu times normal reaction. So, limiting friction is equal to mu times normal reaction. On dividing we get tan theta is equal to mu sin theta by cos theta. Tan theta is equal to mu, n cancels, tan theta is equal to mu s, where mu s is the coefficient of static friction. So, here tan theta is equal to mu s, which is 7.75, that is 3 by 4. If tan theta is equal to 3 by 4, you can make use of this triangle. Tan theta is 3 by 4, then this one will be 5. Tan theta 3 by 4 means what? Cos theta is equal to 4 by 5. Cos theta is equal to 4 by 5 from this triangle. You draw a horizontal line here. This distance is the radius r and this distance is r cos theta. This distance is r cos theta. We need to get that height h. The height h is the rest of the distance, so that h is equal to r into 1 minus cos theta, that is r into 1 minus 4 by 5, that is r into 1 by 5, where r is 1 meter. So, the answer is 0.2 meter. Correct answer is dog. Next one, a clock has continuously moving second hand. Average acceleration of the tip, acceleration of the clock A is equal to omega square times r, where r is the radius. Radius is the length of the second hand, which is 0.1 meter, but omega is not given, but it is a second hand. What is the angular speed of second hand? Which is 2 pi by t, but omega square is there. So, 2 pi by t all square times r, that is 2 pi square divided by t square. What is the time period of second hand? The second hand goes once around in 60 seconds. So, 60 square times the radius. Radius is 0.1 and the correct answer is option 1. The correct answer is option 1, 10 power minus 3. The next one, in the circuit the given below, P and Q are two equally intense coherent sources emitting radiation of wavelength 20 meter. Separation between Q and P is 5 meter. This separation is given 5 meter. This separation is given 5 meter and the phase of P is ahead of that Q by 90 degree. P and Q are having a phase difference, a constant phase difference, that is equal to 90 degree and P is ahead. Okay, that means if P is a cosine function, Q is a sine function, it looks so. So, P is ahead by a phase angle pi by 2. A, B, C are three distinct points and each equidistant from the midpoint of PQ. A, B and C are equidistant from the midpoint of PQ, that is midpoint of PQ to B, midpoint of PQ to C, midpoint of PQ to A, that distances are same. Okay. Now, what about B? What about the intensity at B? As if you draw line, if you draw lines from P to B and Q to B, there will not be any geometric path difference.
So the geometric path difference at B is 0. But there is a phase difference at the source itself. P is leading by a phase angle pi by 2. Okay. So there is a phase angle pi by 2. If there is a phase angle pi by 2, what is the intensity? And that intensities at these points are same, identical intensities. We know 4I0 cos square phi by 2. When phi is equal to pi by 2, 4I0 into cos square pi by 4. Cos square pi by 4 is 1 by 2. So 4I0 into 1 by 2 is 2I0. So this intensity will be 2I0. So intensity here will be 2I0. Okay. Now what about A? We know the geometric path difference between PA and QA, drawing lines from Q to A and drawing a line from P to A, we do find the difference between these two lines in length is of 5 meter, but the wavelength is given 20 meter. That means this 5 meter separation is lambda by 4. 20 by 4 is 5. That means the wavelength lambda by 4, path difference is lambda by 4, geometric path difference is lambda by 4. Geometric path difference lambda by 4 correspond to a phase difference pi by 2. We know phase difference is equal to 2 pi by lambda into path difference delta. That is 2 pi by lambda into delta means lambda by 4, and that you get pi by 2. Anyway, this is the practice, but you should know the lambda by 4 correspond to a path difference, lambda by 4 correspond to phase angle pi by 2. You should by heart it. Now, there is a phase angle of pi by 2, and which is leading. Q is leading because Q has to travel shorter distances. P is lagging by a phase angle pi by 2, but P is already leading by a phase angle pi by 2 at the source itself. So the resultant phase difference will be 0. Once again, Q is leading in phase by pi by 2 geometrically, but Q is lagging in phase by a pi by 2 at the source due to the property of the sources. Therefore, plus pi by 2 minus pi by 2, the effective phase difference at A will be 0. If the phase difference is 0, 4I0 cos square 0, that becomes 4I0. So intensity at A will be 4I0. What about C? The similar approach. The geometric path difference at C also will be lambda by 4. So phase difference is pi by 2, but P is leading there. So P is leading at C by the phase pi by 2 due to the geometric path difference, and also P is leading already by the source phase difference. So pi by 2 plus pi by 2 both are to be added so that the total phase angle is pi. When total phase angle is pi, it means a destructive interference occurs, the intensity becomes 0. 4I0 cos square pi by 2, cos pi by 2 is 0, so that intensity becomes 0. So at A 4, B 2, C 0. So 4 2 0, the only possibility is this one, 2 1 0. 4 2 0, on cutting you get 2 1 0. Okay, ratio. Next one, electron doubly ionized helium He++ and proton are having same kinetic energy. Relation between de Broglie wavelength. We know de Broglie wavelength is equal to h divided by root of 2me. In terms of kinetic energy, we need to write this because the kinetic energies of each of these particles are given to be same. So lambda proportional to 1 by square root of m. So the one which has least mass will have most de Broglie wavelength. Here electron is least massive, so the de Broglie wavelength of electron will be largest. De Broglie wavelength of electron largest comes for option 3 and 4, and the de Broglie wavelength of the heavier one will be least. Which is the heavier one will here? Here it is helium. That's why the correct answer is fourth option. Next one, electron is moving along positive x-axis with speed 6 into 10 power 6 meter per second, enters region of uniform electric field 300 volt per centimeter, pointing along y direction. Magnitude and direction of magnetic field set up in this region such that electron keeps moving along x direction will be. The concept was first used by J.J. Thomson, concept of crossed electric and magnetic fields. the charge will be moving undeflected provided the velocity v is equal to E divided by B. Okay, so as the electron is moving along positive x direction, magnetic field is in positive y direction, so the magnetic field should be in positive z direction. Positive z direction, two options are there. Now we can try the magnitude. Magnetic field B is equal to E divided by V. E is 300 volt per centimeter, convert into volt per meter, anyway 3 by 6.5. So it begins with 5, so the correct answer is 1. You try the correct calculations, this will be sufficient for getting the answer. Next, we are explaining the minimum method shown in the figure. Hollow ice cream cone, it is open at the top. If its mass is m, radius of top is r, height h, then the moment of inertia about its axis will be moment of inertia about its axis. Okay, let me redraw that. We have the axis like this, axis like this. Now we have cone like this. This is the right circular cone whose radius is r. Let this angle be theta. Let this length be L. You consider a thin strip, thin section which is circular, whose radius is small letter r. Okay, radius is small letter r, and that strip is at a distance small letter y from the apex. Now the width of the slanting width be dy. Okay, from this we can write down the equation for moment of inertia. Moment of inertia I is equal to integration of r square dm, but here r divided by r is equal to y divided by L. Okay, so that r is equal to yr divided by L. Now we can get r square and all, anyway let it be there. Now what is dm? dm is the mass per unit area into area of the small strip. What is mass per unit area? If m is the total mass, area of the total surface area, mass of the hollow cone is only distributed along its surface. So mass per unit area, it has a surface mass density. So mass per unit area is area of the hollow cone surface area is pi r L. So mass per unit area into area of this thin strip, which is 2 pi r dy, 2 pi r dy. Okay, that is dm. dm is equal to m by pi r L into 2 pi r dy. Now let us substitute for getting the moment of inertia. Let us substitute for getting the moment of inertia here. So I is equal to integration of r square dm. Let us write dm, there pi gets cancelled. So you get 2m divided by RL, 2m divided by RL into r dy. Okay, into r dy, but r square is also there. So r cube into dy. That can be written as integration of 2m divided by RL multiplied by, what is r cube? R cube is y cube r cube divided by L cube dy. That is 2m r square divided by L raised to 4 integration of y cube dy, where we have to integrate. The small element is of this slanting element is dy. The distance increases from 0 to L. 0 to L we have to, the slanting length is L. The thin strip is whose thickness is slanting thickness. So we have to integrate from 0 to L. That is equal to 2m r square divided by L raised to 4 into integrating and putting limits, you get L raised to 4 by 4. L raised to 4 gets cancelled and you get mr square by 2 is the final result. Okay, this method may be practiced for solid cone also. Okay, right? Then correct answer is mr square by 2 is the correct answer. Next one. Now question number 13. AC circuit resistance, capacitance, inductance all are given the Q factor. The popular formula for Q factor is equal to 1 by R root of L divided by C. On substitution, the values of R 1 by 100 square root of inductance 80 into 10 power minus 3, capacitance 2 into 10 power minus 6. On getting the answer, you will get second option. The correct answer is 2. The next one is 14. Potential energy between two molecules given by A by R raised to 6 plus B by R raised to 12. Then equilibrium separation and potential energy are. We know for equilibrium the conservative force F is equal to minus du by dr is equal to 0. So, as force is 0 for equilibrium, du by dr must be 0. So, for finding du by dr is equal to, derivative of that can be written as 6a divided by r raised to 7. Next one, here minus of minus becomes plus because we need minus du by dr. Here b by r raised to 12 will become minus 12b divided by r raised to 30, and that is equal to 0. It means that 6a divided by r raised to 7 is equal to 12b divided by r raised to 13. On cutting these, you get here 2. So, r raised to 6 is equal to 2b by a. So, r is equal to 2b by a all to the power 1 by 6. Okay, 2b by a all to the power 1 by 6, that comes in two options, third and fourth options. There we found the potential energy by substituting the value, that is a by r raised to 6. A divided by r raised to 6 means 2b divided by a. 2b divided by a. So, a is already there. Now, potential energy for finding a by r raised to 6, a divided by r raised to 6, 2b by a. Okay, that is equal to a square by 2b. Okay, now that a square by 2b comes there, a square by 2b. Next one, plus b divided by r raised to 12, b by r raised to 12, r raised to 12 can be written as 12 by 6, 2. So, this will be 2b divided by a all square, and this comes b divided by 2b by a all square, and you get the correct answer as with minus sign there, because the potential energy here it appears to be negative. So, it becomes the third option correct. The correct answer is the third option. 14, the correct answer is third option. Now 15. Four-point masses, each of mass m, fixed at corners of square of side L. The square is rotating. Angular velocity, frequency omega about an axis passing through one of the corners of the square and parallel to the diagonal as shown. Angular momentum of the square about this axis is. Here you can see the masses m each, all masses are m each. Moment of inertia is the product of mass and square of the perpendicular separation. To draw this line, suppose this distance is r, this distance is also r. Now these two masses 1 and 2 are separated by distance r. So the total moment of inertia will be 2m into r square plus the third mass, the third mass is separated at a distance 2r, perpendicular distance 2r from the axis. So that you may write m into 2r whole square, and that is the answer. That is equal to 4 plus 2, 6. 6 mr square is the correct answer. But what is r here? That is to be expressed in terms of L. This is L, 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 L. Okay. what is R here? R. This length is L, this angle is 45. So this length is L and this angle is 45, and this length will be L cos 45, that is L by root 2. So R is equal to L by root 2. R is equal to L by root 2. So 6m into R square will be L square by 2. So that 3m L square is the moment of inertia. Now angular momentum is equal to 3L m L square m omega. So the correct answer is the second option. Next one, you are given masses lithium, helium, hydrogen, all. 20 gram of lithium is converted to helium by proton capture, energy liberated. Let us first of all write the equation. Lithium Li37 proton capture P11 gives helium He24. The charge and mass to be conserved. Here 3 plus 1 total number of protons 4, here only 2, so multiply by 2. Here 7 plus 1 total mass number is 8, here 4 into 2 8. Now the equation is viable because the physical process is viable. Now we can find out the mass defect. Here we have learned that the total mass of the reactants must be slightly greater than the total mass of the products for release of energy. Process energy is liberated, and that mass difference on left hand side and right hand side is called the mass defect. So let us find out the mass defect here. Mass defect I am writing in atomic mass unit for the first time. Then the answer is needed in kilowatt hour. For before that we have to convert that into joule. So mass defect is equal to, mass defect is, what is the mass of lithium? It's given 7.0160 plus mass of proton 1.0079, that is the mass of the reactants, minus mass of product. There are 2 helium. So 2 multiplied by mass of helium is 4.0026. So this much will be the mass defect in atomic mass unit. Okay, we know 1 U is equal to 1.66 into 10 power minus 27 kilogram. Now you convert this one, you multiply by 1.66 into 10 power minus 27 kilogram to convert into kilogram. So mass defect you can convert into kilogram. Multiply this by 1.6 into 10 power minus 27 kilogram, that is 1 U. Now multiply this much U, you can get convert into kilogram. Now what is the energy released? Energy released is equal to delta M in kilogram multiplied by C square. Delta M in kilogram is already there. When you multiply by 1.6 into 10 power minus 27, then you get the energy released in this process, and that energy released will be in joule. Okay, that joule can be converted into kilowatt hour because 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 3.6 megajoule. Okay, using this conversion you can convert joule into kilowatt hour. Okay, and you get the answer as 1.33 into 10 power 6. Next one, identify the correct output signal Y in the following combination of gates. Here it's a NOT gate. So input here is B, here it would be B complement. Here input is A, here it would be A complement. It is a NAND gate. So what is Y? Let me write Y. Y is equal to, inputs of NAND gates are A complement and B complement. As it is a NAND gate, A dot B all complement. Using the De Morgan's theorem, A complement complement plus B complement complement, that is equal to A plus B. So this gate must be an OR gate. So the truth table should be, or the diagram should be that of OR gate. OR gate, what should be the signal values? Input 0 0, A and B 0 0, output should be 0 0 1 1 1 0 1 1 1 1. This logic should be satisfied here. Now 0, first case, A0 B1, A0 B1, A0 A0, B1, the output should be 1. Is it clear there? A0, B1, output should be 1. So, this is not the correct answer, this is not the correct answer, this is not the correct answer, then this only one is the possibility. Okay. Now, like this you can verify the other part also. The next one, molecules of ideal gas are known to have 3 translational degrees of freedom and 2 rotational degrees of freedom. The gas is maintained at temperature T. Total internal energy. That is only a knowledge level question. For diatomic gas, the total internal energy is 5 by 2 RT and gamma is 7 by 5. For monatomic, it is 3 by 2 RT and 5 by 3, like this. Next one, a point object placed at distance 1 meter in front of a convex lens of focal length 0.5 meter. So, we have the principal axis here, principal axis, and this is a convex lens, of focal length 0.5 meter, and the point object is placed at distance 1 meter. Point object is placed at distance 1 meter. So, where its image is formed, focal length is 0.5, object distance is 1. That means object distance u is equal to 2f. When object is at 2f, image is also at 2f. So, image will be formed at 2f. That means at 1 meter once again. So, this image will be the image formed by the convex lens. So, this is the object, this is the first image. So, first image is formed there. Okay. Now, a plane mirror is placed at a distance of 2 meter behind the lens. So, let us draw a plane mirror behind the lens. There is a plane mirror behind the lens at a distance 2 meter behind the lens. 2 meter means 1 meter again separated by this I1, and this is a plane mirror, and this distance is also 1 meter. Now, the object is in front of, real object is in front of the plane mirror. Now, it forms an unreal image behind it at same distance. That means this image distance from the mirror is also 1 meter. Okay. Now, you know that the image formed is not real because light rays not really reach there, because these light rays are getting reflected from here. This light ray is coming from here, gets reflected from the mirror itself. So, this light ray will not reach there. Okay. But that unreal object, that virtual object will act as the object for this convex lens. This virtual object will act as the object for this convex lens. Okay. For that convex lens, now the object distance is 1 plus 1 plus 1, that is 3 meter. Now, for that convex lens, for the reflected light, object distance is equal to 3 meter, that is plus or minus. Object distance is to be measured from the center, geometric center to that object position. The object distance is measured towards right, but the light from that object is coming towards left. So, object distance should be minus 3. Now, using lens formula, 1 by f is equal to 1 by v minus 1 by u. 1 by f is positive for convex lens, that is 0.5. 1 by v minus 1 by minus u, that is minus 3. So, that you get 1 by v is equal to 1 by 0.5, maybe 2. 1 by 0.5 is 2. So, this 1 by 0.5 can be written as 2, and this becomes minus 1 by 3. So, 1 by v is equal to 5 by 3, that is v is equal to 3 by 5, that is 0.6, and with plus sign, that the final image is formed at 0.6 meter from the lens, and that is positive. What do you mean by that? Positive means that light ray is coming towards left, reflected light from the mirror is coming towards left, and that is the direction positive. So, the image is placed or formed to the left of this convex lens. So, the final image is formed here, and this will be the final image, and this is I1, this is the virtual image I2, and this is the I3 is the final image, and this distance is 0.6 meter. Now, this answer will be, this distance is 2 and this is 0.6. So, 2.6 meter from the mirror, 2.6 meter, two options are there, real or virtual. As the light rays are really coming towards left, that are forming the real image, so the answer is third option. Okay. Next one, sound wave moving along straight track. Sound source is moving along straight track with speed v. It's emitting sound of frequency v0. The observer is standing at some distance, finite distance at point O from the track. The time variation of the frequency heard by the observer is best represented by. Okay, there should be a picture but not mentioned. This is the axis. The object is a point object. Object is a source, a sound source is moving along straight line, straight track. This is the track, but the observer is having some height. And it's given that an observer is standing at a finite distance at a point O, and this point O, observer is at rest. O is the observer and it is at rest. Now the sound is coming from the source which is moving towards this line. Its frequency is nu 0. Let that frequency be written as nu 0 is the frequency. Okay, true frequency is nu 0, and it approaches, okay, with a velocity v s, that is the velocity of the source, and this angle is theta, and this will be the line joining. This will be the direction of line joining the source and the listener, because listener's ears is here. Listener's ear is here. Okay, sound is a sound, so that is sensitive to ears. Now this listener's ear is here and this angle is theta. We need to get the radial component of velocity of the source, that is Vs cos theta. So this velocity component is Vs cos theta. Now the new frequency nu dash is equal to nu 0 into V divided by V minus Vs cos theta, where Vs is the velocity of the source. Velocity of the source is Vs, but we need to get the component of the velocity of the source along the line joining the source and the listener, that is Vs cos theta, okay, from this right angle triangle. Because the listener is at rest or the observer is at rest, the numerator only has capital V, where V is the velocity of sound. Here the observed frequency is nu dash, true frequency is nu 0, which is a constant, V is a constant, Vs is a constant, but theta varies. When the source is approaching, the theta is first increasing, and theta becomes maximum, which is equal to 90 degree. At first theta increases. At the beginning, when theta increases, we know cos theta decreases, then this second term decreases, that means the denominator increases, so that the heard frequency decreases continuously. As theta variation is not an abrupt, theta variation is continuous, frequency decreases continuously. So at the beginning the frequency is greater than nu 0 because the denominator is less. So frequency is greater than nu 0 initially. So the first option cannot be the correct answer because the initial frequency is nu 0 itself, and it cannot be the correct answer because the changes are not abrupt or step changes are not there. Now this also cannot be there because the frequency, initial frequency is at nu 0, then this is the only possibility. Fourth one is the correct answer and is a very good one. And this frequency decreases and it becomes same when it just passes by, only for that moment it listens to the same frequency of the source. After that again it goes like this. Okay, so the correct answer is fourth option. Next one, a part of complete circuit is shown. Some instant the value of current is 1 ampere and is decreasing at the rate 100 ampere per second. The value of the potential difference Vp minus Vq is. From Kirchhoff's voltage law KVL, we analyze this open loop. Vp minus L di by dt. Voltage across inductor has a minus sign introduced by Lenz's law. Minus, what is L di by dt? We find out L di by dt at first. L di by dt, L is given 50 into 10 power minus 3. Di by dt is given 10 square, that you will get 50 into 10 power minus 1, and that is 5 volt. So L di by dt or voltage across the inductor is 5 volt. This minus sign should be there because that is voltage across the inductor is minus L di by dt, minus sign incorporated by the Lenz's law. Now here as we are moving through the cell from plus to minus. At the beginning we meet with plus, then minus. Okay, in the cell there is a lowering potential, so we used to give minus 30. But here, as you are moving against the current, the direction of current is given towards left, and that current is to 1 ampere. Current is towards left. Now we are moving against the current, so we are moving in the direction of increasing potential. Potential at Q is greater because current is from Q to P. That is why we have to use plus potential. Plus, what is the potential there? Ohm's law, I into R, 1 into 2. And that is minus VQ is equal to 0. This is the algebraic sum of potential changes equal to 0 stated by KVL, energy conservation. That is Vp minus Vq is equal to minus 35, goes to the right side, become plus 35, minus 2, so that becomes plus 33. So answer could be 33.00. It's a numerical question. Next one. Two bodies of same masses are moving with same speed but with different direction in one plane. They have completely inelastic collision. Completely inelastic collision is very important. Completely inelastic collision, bodies stick together and move together, assumes a constant common velocity. Final speed which is half that of the initial speed. The angle between initial velocities. Angle between initial velocities. Suppose the two bodies are moving along this line. One body along this line, other body along this line, and meets at some point. Here its mass is m, here its mass is also m. On combining the mass becomes 2m, its velocity is given same. So speed v, let its speed be v. Here its speed is half the initial speed, that is v by 2. We know in every collision the total linear momentum is conserved as there is no external force acting. That is why total initial momentum. What is the total initial momentum? We have to find the total angle between these two initial velocities. Let this be angle theta, this be also theta. Then the component of momentum along x-axis is mv cos theta for each. So the total linear momentum before collision is 2mv cos theta. So 2mv cos theta is the total linear momentum before collision. After collision sticks together and moves with a common velocity v by 2. That momentum is 2m multiplied by v by 2. Okay. Here v cancels, m cancels, here 2 cancels, cos theta 1 by 2, that means theta is equal to 60. Then answer is 2 theta is equal to 120.00 will be the correct answer. Next one. Suppose that the intensity of laser is given like this, RMS electric field associated with this in volt per meter with this source is close to the nearest integer. The formula for intensity I is equal to energy density multiplied by velocity. This formula is quite important, that is I can be written as U times C. Okay, where formula for energy density we have learned epsilon 0 E RMS square is the total energy density of electromagnetic wave associated with both electric field and magnetic field. You know the total energy density is equally shared between electric field as well as magnetic field. Now here I is equal to epsilon 0 E RMS square times C. Therefore, E RMS is equal to square root of I divided by epsilon 0 C, that is equal to square root of intensity is given 315 divided by pi, C is given 3 into 10 power 8. Okay, now I given, C written, epsilon 0 value also given, that is 8.86 into 10 power minus 12. Okay, on solving you get the correct answer as 194.00. So E RMS is equal to 194.00 is the correct answer. Okay, now the next one, 24. Density of a solid metal sphere is determined by measuring its mass and diameter. The maximum error in the density of the solid sphere is equal to mass divided by its volume. What is its volume? 4 by 3 pi r cube. So the maximum percentage error in density delta rho by rho, we have learned this equation. is delta m by m plus 3 times delta r by r. Maximum percentage error is this. Okay, delta r by r and delta d by d both are same. Maximum percentage error in the diameter and maximum percentage error in the radius both are same. That is why delta m by m is given 6% plus 3 times delta r by r is given 1.5%, that is 6% plus 4.5%, that is equal to 10.5%, can be written as 1050 divided by 100. So the correct answer will be 1050.00. So correct answer is 1050.00. The last one. Initially, gas of diatomic molecule is contained in a cylinder of volume V1. Cylinder of volume V1 at a pressure P1 at a temperature T1, that is equal to 250 Kelvin. Okay, this is diatomic. Now, what happens? Assuming that 25% of the molecules get dissociated, causing the change in number of moles, the pressure of the resulting gas at temperature is P2, its volume is 2V1, its temperature is T2 is equal to 2000 Kelvin, that means T1 was 250 Kelvin. Here, what is P2 by P1? P2 by P1 is asked. Okay, here more important thing is that the dissociation. As initially it was diatomic, as each molecule contains 2 atoms. Next, on dissociation it becomes monatomic, each molecule contains only 1 atom, 1 molecule. That means on dissociating this diatomic molecule, the number of moles becomes double. That is the principle here. Okay. Therefore, here if n is the number of moles, what will be the number of moles here? That will be 5 by 4 n. If number of moles in the first case is n, second case it will be 5 by 4 n. How did you get it? Second case, the number of moles is n dash. N dash is equal to, n is the number of moles initially in the diatomic gas, but 25% dissociated into monatomic, but 75% still remains as diatomic. 75 means 0.75. So 0.75 n is already in diatomic, plus what much in monatomic? Only 0.25, 25%. Okay, 25% of n is monatomic remaining, but number of atoms get doubled. So into 2. That is why it becomes 0.75 plus 0.5, that is 1.25 n, which is equal to 5 by 4 n. That is why here n, here 5 by 4 n. Okay, now the ideal gas equation is only used. PV is equal to nRT. Use it twice. First one, P1 V. Here V1 is equal to V. V1 is equal to V1 is equal to V1, right? V1 is equal to N R into 250. Next one, P2, 2V1, 5 by 4 N R into 2000. You divide these two, you get the answer as P2 divided by P1 as 5.00 is the correct answer. Okay, with that this discussion is over. We will be meet again with another paper. Thank you.